key to understanding the sexualization of our culture is that sexual liberation is a form of control. Most people don't understand that. They perceive it as a kind of freedom, freedom to act on your desires. But there's a long history of people who understand how they can use this to control people. Our nature is to be rational. It's to be reasonable creatures, to recognize the order of the universe as created by God. That order, the Greeks gave a name for that order. They called it logos. Logos is translated as speech. It's rationality. It's the order of the universe. It's the mind of God. It's all of these things all wrapped up in one. And that's the nature of what we are. But we've been created with passions or appetites, and these are necessary to survive. But in order to keep them in proportion or where they belong, they have to be subjected to reason. Now, everybody understands this when it comes to something like the appetite for food. Everybody knows that if you eat too much, you're going to get fat. And if you get fat, you're not going to be healthy. Or if you drink too much, you're going to get drunk. And if you get behind the wheel, you're going to kill yourself or hurt somebody. But it's harder to understand with sex for some reason or other. Because it's such an insistent desire. And there are people who understood that if you promote this, you cloud people's understanding. The scholastic philosophers like St. Thomas Aquinas would say, lust darkens the mind. That's his way of understanding it. It can eclipse reason. And these people who were understanding this, and I'm talking about beginning with someone like the Marquis de Sade, during the French Revolution, all the way up to Wilhelm Reich, the Freudian communist, wrote during the 1930s. They realized if you increase these passions, you can manipulate people and get them to do what you want to do. So it became a form of control. And so at the same time, Reich was studying Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud was using these insights to control people. In a sense, rich Americans, so he could get money from them. His nephew was Eddie Bernays, and he's the father of public relations and advertising. And people began to realize you could use this to control people. And that's, in a sense, the history of what we're talking about. The history of the sexualization of our culture is really the people who control the culture, let's call them the oligarchs, have discovered that this is a very effective way to bring people under control. And so they control the media, they control what we see, what we think, and they control it for their interest, not for our interest.